Good morning to the conference organizers and participants of this Biomed Central Conference. Greetings from India. We are from Chennai, South Indian Metro City. We are thankful to the organizers for selection of our scientific abstract for this prestigious conference. Me and my co-author guide, Professor Manikantan, we are thankful for this participation and we would like to introduce ourselves. I'm Dr. Sri Sucharita, Professor, Department of Community Medicine, Tagore Medical College Hospital, which is a prestigious private medical college in the city of Chennai, which is a metro city in the South Indian state of India. My co-guide and author of this paper, Professor Manikantan, is a professor in the Department of Physiology, Tagore Medical College. We both did this original article, and this is an original research paper analyzing the cotinine measurement in tobacco consumers among vulnerable population group of interstate migrants. Our study is titled Quantification of Urinary Cotinine Levels Among Interstate Migrant Construction Workers in Chennai, a community-based pilot study. As we have introduced earlier, we both represent Tagore Medical College and Hospital in Chennai, a South Indian state of Tamil Nadu. This is our college building, and you can see it is established in a prestigious city of Chennai, which is in South India, and the campus is located in a beautiful green village campus, and you can see a temple situated along in the hospital campus, which gives us a spiritual belonging to the culture and heritage of the country. And our tertiary care hospital is having both undergraduate and postgraduate education, and we have 150 undergraduate medical admissions per year, and we also have 7 specialties which have postgraduate approval, and every year we are striving towards medical excellence in research, and also quality of care towards patient services is always aiming to reach heights. Coming to our topic, we would like to lay out the background of our topic. Globally, 1.3 billion smoke tobacco, predominantly in low and middle income countries. The global prevalence of tobacco use was set to be reduced by 30% by the year of 2025, relative to 2010, as per the WHO Global Action Plan for Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases, 2013 and 2010. The prevalence of tobacco use is definitely trending downwards, and in low and middle income countries, it is projected to reach 13% by 2025. When compared to other income countries, it is definitely a slower decline, because in other countries, it is declining at a rate of 22%. As you can see, tobacco use in any form is attributed to a plethora of non-communicable diseases, and it is leading to a decrease in life expectancy of women by 11 years and in men by 12 years, leading to premature deaths. The Global Adult Tobacco Survey second version in India has identified that 267 million adults are consuming tobacco in any of the form. Among them, smokeless tobacco users are nearly 200 million, and smokers are almost like 100 million. Though India claims that it is reversing the tobacco epidemic prevalence, and 6% decline is quoted, that it is reduced from 34.6% to 28.6%, it is still accountable for so many of mortality and morbidity resulting from tobacco. Approximately a sixth of global tobacco related deaths, 80% of them are contributed by India. Coming to our target population, who are like interstate migrants and their tobacco use, repeated studies have identified that interstate migrant workers are one of the high-risk groups with high burden of tobacco use in India. And smokeless tobacco use is reported to be twice higher than the national average compared to the general adult population. And migrant workers' life experiences, which are reportedly suboptimal due to poor working conditions and stressful work environments, are leading to high tobacco use. In addition to poor utilization of health services due to language barriers, irregular work shifts, they make them vulnerable to the highest exposure to these smokeless tobacco products. Self-reported tobacco use and biochemical assessments. Earlier studies have reported that high prevalence rates of smokeless tobacco use among migrant population compared to their native states. Most of these interstate migrant workers come from North and Central and East India to the South India because there is a lot of development projects concentrated in the South India compared to North, East and Central India. So there is this high reported prevalence of smokeless tobacco use. As explained earlier, there are multiple determinants for this high reported use. And this self-reported tobacco use is grossly understated due to factors such as denial, shame, stigma, and embarrassment by these low-income group subjects in India. Due to this, there is a deflated national statistics and also subsequently failure to benefit from preventive health services. I would now like to hand over this presentation to my co-author and guide, Professor Manikantan, Professor Physiology, to explain what is the importance of nicotine quantification assay.
Thank you, Dr. Sucharita. Actually, we have taken a cotinine, say.
Okay, cotinine is a metabolite of nicotine and it has a long half-life of 15 to 19 hours, which is routinely measured in saliva, urine, and plasma. Sir will later explain how we performed this in our particular study, what is the methodology we adopted. Biochemically, cotinine levels can be an indicator of active smoking, also smokeless tobacco use, and exposure to second-hand smoke or pharmaceutical nicotine use like nicotine gums or lozenges. Measurement of salivary cotinine is routinely used in population studies because of the ease of sample collection and minimal discomfort. But urinary cotinine is widely accepted as better indicator because it has 4 to 6 times higher concentration when compared to with blood or saliva. And what is the rationale for our studies? Surveys such as GATS, which we have explained earlier, have to be supplemented with population level biomarker estimation in India, especially because of this underestimated, gross, underreported self consumption levels among low income groups, especially. And this remains a research of interest because of we want to develop a deeper understanding of what is the actual real burden of tobacco and what is their impact on tobacco usage. With this, we defined our objective as to design and evaluate the urinary cotinine levels among interstate migrant construction workers consuming tobacco using ELISA. Now I would like to request my co-author and guide, Professor Manikantan, to describe the methodology we have adopted in conducting this analysis and quantification in our study.
Thank you, Dr. Sucharita. In our study, we have collected urine sample from migrant workers, and the sample were immediately after collection centrifuged 2000 to 3000 RPM for 20 minutes, and later on that is transferred to the another vial and kept in minus 20 degrees Celsius until we proceed with the ELISA kit urine cotinine assay. So once on the day of experiment, we started taking out the sample and standard from the storage and kept it in the room temperature. Once all the reagents come to the room temperature, we started our assay. So either it is a sample or it's a standard. We have taken a 50 microliter in each well of ELISA well added, and then 50 microliter of the reagent added. So we kept it for 30 minutes and for the incubation. After the 30 minutes, we washed with the standard buffer, and this buffer washing is done 4 to 5 times. After thorough washing and remove all the buffer, and immediately after that, we have added 50 microliter aviridine HRP. So this is solution after adding and kept incubation for 30 minutes. The same washing procedure was done repeatedly 4 to 5 times and removing of all the buffer thoroughly. Then we were added 50 microliter of solution A and B constant. So after adding solution A and B, we kept in the incubation at dark for 10 minutes at 30 degrees Celsius, 37 degrees Celsius. Once the color is turned into the blue, we have taken out from the dark and then immediately added the stop solution 50 microliter to each well. Now the color uh, turned into the yellow from blue. So the once the yellow color is formed, this ELISA wells were kept in the ELISA reader for procuring OD at the 450 nanometer immediately after the yellow color is developed. We are not delayed and then we made the OD value. This OD value were calculated against the standard value. So the results were expressed microgram per ml of urine. So our results shows we have taken a 78 migrants. Among them, 38 migrant are smoke using the smoke tobacco and the 31 were using smokeless tobacco. Among them, majority of the people are they are having a effect on the tobacco usage, but they don't know about the ill effect of it. At the same time, they don't have a thought of quitting their consumption of tobacco. So this is what we have procured from our questionnaires. So this pie graph shows that the percentage of maximum percentage of nearly about 66.67 percentage of migrant worker uh, falls in the age group of 20 to 29 years, and the remaining are nearly about the 34 percentage of worker in fall in the other work group. So which stating that which stating that majority of the peoples are fall in the young age group and they are not having a tendency of quitting them. And then this is a table shows urine cotinine value measured in tobacco user of smoke and smokeless user when compared to the non-users. So shows a significant rise in urinary cotinine level than the non-users. So this indicating whether it is in the form of smoke or smokeless user, the cotinine level is increased in the plasma that is excreted in the urine. So the remaining discussion will be hand over to the Dr. Sucharita. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for excellent detailed presentation about the methodology we have conducted in our study and the results which revealed a very concerning pattern of tobacco consumption among this vulnerable population group of interstate migrant construction workers in India. As we discuss our study findings, the smokeless tobacco users show significantly elevated levels of cotinine, which is excreted in their urine, compared to non-tobacco users and also even among the smoked tobacco consumers. And this study supports earlier studies on cotinine concentration in urine, and it falls in the range of 31.5 to 550 nanograms per ml cutoff values. In an earlier Indian study conducted among low-income adults in a slum population, the mean value of salivary cotinine was found to be 76.24 among self-reported smokers, and among self-reported tobacco chewers it was 121, and among people who reported either smoking or chewing it was 101. Though our study was done among construction migrant workers, they also fall under low-income adults, low-income group of population. And though our study estimated urinary cotinine, our values also showed significantly higher levels of cotinine compared to the other studies. And in that earlier Indian study, among the youth who reported no tobacco use, The mean salivary quaternion was found to be 8.6, but in our study, as you saw in the earlier table presented by Professor Manikantan, among the non-tobacco users, if I go back to the earlier slide, among the non-tobacco users, the mean quaternion value was 59.22, which is extremely high. And we want to draw your attention that consistent with previous studies, we want to say that biochemical validation is recommended in prevention and cessation studies among low-income youth because the self-reported tobacco use has low sensitivity and also the positive predictive value is only 72.6%. Okay. So in conclusion, we want to say that analysis of variance in our study showed that quaternion levels in urine among tobacco smokers and chewers is definitely high, and it falls in the same range, almost similar range, but compared with non-users, it is significantly high. And self-reported non-tobacco users in our study also showed high urinary quaternion values, and they need to be followed up in subsequent surveys. And measurement of urinary quaternion levels among this particular vulnerable population group, such as migrant construction workers, is a first attempt to objectively measure the burden of tobacco use. And this particular study definitely provides a convincing evidence to support the importance of tobacco harm reduction and cessation programs for this targeted group of migrant population workers. The limitations of this study, definitely a small sample size, non-random sampling methods, and non-equal representation of women subjects. And the impact of this study, as we admitted, this is the first attempt, and definitely these studies and these type of studies will definitely aim for designing tobacco harm reduction and intervention studies among target populations of high burden tobacco use in India. We definitely need them. And we would like to acknowledge our gratitude to migrant construction workers, our college management, our rural and urban health and training center staff, Department of Community Medicine, our research committee, ethics committee, our college management, and Tagore Educational Trust for enabling us to utilize our infrastructure and institutional mechanisms during the time of COVID pandemic effectively to conduct this surgery, following all the protocols of pandemic management. And we would like to especially submit our gratitude to our funding grant partner, Council for Harm Reduced Alternatives, and especially my mentor, Mr. Samrat Chaudhary, who constantly supports our research endeavors in tobacco harm reduction efforts. And we look forward to do more research in this particular area, focusing on tobacco harm reduction, targeting vulnerable population. And these are our references. In conclusion, we would once again thank me and my co-author and guide, Professor Manikantan. We would like to submit our thanks to the organizers of this Biomed Central Conference for selecting our scientific abstract and giving us a platform to showcase our research work on an international forum like this. And we look forward to interact with the audience for any questions. And from Tagore Medical College and Hospital, we thank everyone for giving this opportunity. And once again, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.